Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays with Stephanie. I'm Stephanie Bucklin, your host, and I am so excited to be interviewing Lisa Williams today. She is a transformational life coach and intuitive healer. I am so excited to dive into this conversation, Lisa. I would love for you to give us an introduction, who you are and what you do, and what kind of magic you bring to the world.
Hey, Stephanie, thanks for having me on. So I am, like you said, a transformational life coach and healer. I've been basically just sent here to, I'm here to, wow. We're not live, are we?
No, it's not live. It's recorded.
I was like, oh my God, what happened?
Just act natural.
I'm hitting like this is my throat chakra thing that everybody's
right.
You've got a throat chakra thing, like you just, it's like a fear of being seen and heard.
Right.
Yeah. So wow.
Should we start over? Let's see.
Yeah, maybe I need to do like a holy cow.
Can I get some sage and clear your energy?
Yeah, let me see. What essential oils do I have? Where's my crystal? I'm sorry, Stephanie.
Oh, that's okay. It's all good. Editing is easy.
Let's see, what do I need? Rise above in valor. Do that. So let's see. So Stephanie, do you do one-on-one stuff or do you do?
I do, yeah. What I'm focusing on now is psychic readings and Reiki sessions, and I'm teaching yoga. I'm making jewelry.
Yeah.
And the jewelry making is fun, but it's not like going anywhere. So we'll see.
Enjoy it, or it's just not really, it's not
making any money. I've spent like over $600 on jewelry and making things, and I'm not selling anything. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the jewelry business and what I can do with it. But I don't know what I'm doing. I've never had a product business before.
I did try to do the jewelry stuff before too. And I was like, I'm going to have to outsource the making, because this is, I like doing it, but I was like, it's not, like I can't charge as much as it takes me to make it.
Right.
Okay. Let me think. Or let me just see. It's like my channel just like totally blocked up when I started when I started talking. Let's see.
Well, unblock it. Take a deep breath.
Well, this has been my thing. I've been in hiding for 40 years. So, yeah.
It's scary to come out and tell your story and be vulnerable.
Well, last night I went on Instagram Live, and about 10 minutes in, I was like, somebody want to come on and talk, and then this guy comes on, and then he's like, what's your name, where are you from, and he's using a fake accent and stuff.
God.
I was like freaking hater already. I was like, wait, but that's a good thing, right? I was like, it's a good thing when you have haters, because it means that they're putting effort in to give you resistance, plus it's showing me. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry, let me try to. Okay, what do? I don't want to overcomplicate it, so let's just do the masculine and feminine.
Okay.
Feminine. Harmonization to eliminate inner resistance to creating. And shadow work. So basically I'm use my process to create my harmonization between the masculine and feminine energies within us, and eliminate our inner resistance so that we can create the life of our dreams. And I do that through shadow work, and various other intuitive tools, channeling your highest self or your guides, or I mean, really it's your highest self, but whatever. Okay. I think I have a better grasp on it now.
Excellent. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Lisa. So I would love for you to share what you do in the world and how you help people.
So, okay. So I work with the masculine and feminine energies, creating a harmonization between the masculine and feminine energies within each of us. This is something that I found very valuable in my own journey, to eliminate the resistance, to creating the life of my dreams, to eliminate all that inner resistance that I was feeling, and the resistance that I saw from the outer world. And I do this through shadow work and channeling your high self, and also yeah, just through a variety of different energy healing techniques.
Beautiful. And so very needed in this world right now. I think that this has so much value. Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for doing the work. I'd love to hear a little bit about your why. Why did you get into this work?
Essentially to alleviate human suffering. I just felt like it's just like I was consumed with my own suffering, and I witnessed so much of other people's suffering, you know, as an adult, but also as a child. It was like I was very aware of it, and I felt powerless to do anything about it. And I felt like this is why I'm here, you know.
Definitely. So when you first started your journey on this planet as an adult, you took a different path than working in the light worker field. So can you tell us a little bit about your history?
Yes. I mean, I told my parents that I was going to be a healer, and they said no. So I instead I went into the Navy, and I did that. I did an aviation electronics technician for 4 years. And then I went into pharmacy school, and I did pharmacy for 17 years. And then I started, I mean, you know, not 17 years in, but I started having a lot of physical symptoms. I put on like 30 pounds, 40 pounds maybe. And then I had thyroid problems, and then I had asthma, and then I had all these physical symptoms coming up. And then the prognosis was just that you have to take medications for the rest of your life. And I was like, oh, absolutely not. And the doctors would tell me, well, you're just getting older. And I was like, I'm only 40. I was like, this is downhill for the rest. I was like, I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that, because I know that's not, if it's available to somebody, it's available to me, and I'm going to figure out how to do it.
Right on.
Yeah.
Awesome. You mentioned that you've been healing intergenerational trauma most of your life. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means, what that looks like?
Well, I mean, as a child, I saw it's like my parents were like not it's like they weren't even aware of their suffering, you know. They were not happy. And I saw all the, you know, I grew up in South Louisiana, so there was a lot of racial tension and things like that. And I think that intergenerational trauma, you know, while I think obviously people of color have a suffer from it. There is also a lot of guilt and shame with white people too, which is not, I think, recognized and not acknowledged I didn't see anybody acknowledge it in my family. It was considered that you were lucky, and that is one perspective. But there was also a lot of guilt and shame there, because I saw it and I was like, this is not right. None of us are meant to be above or below anyone else. That's false. And anytime you're investing in a false belief, there's gonna be, it's not serving you.
Sure, definitely. Maybe that could be part of how we create trauma, even the limiting beliefs.
Well, it was traumatic to me to witness I would see these lies in the world, and were widely accepted, and it was heartbreaking to me. But as a child, you can't do anything about it. And I mean, you can, it created suffering in me just witnessing it. So I was like, I have to figure out how to transmute this energy, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I know in my energy work, I realized, I think it was Christy Marie Sheldon. So she's one of the teachers from, I think it's called Mind Valley. And she talked about lover above and the energies of humanity and how we suffer based on these concepts of being in these low vibrational energies of guilt, shame, fear, and how when you elevate your energy, that it makes a difference in your healing journey and what you're able to accomplish. And I thought, wow, that's so profound. I want to share this information with the world. And that was part of what led me into energy healing myself, was recognizing those vibrations.
She influenced my work a lot. I've done several courses with her. I did do Love or Above. And then I also use her statements when I identify a fear, because I've tried to create my own statements and hers just really resonated for me. So I use them. I use her statements in my journaling, like every day I write, because I do clearing for the collective. So anything I witness in the outer world is a it's an aspect of my consciousness, but I clear it as it comes up. I go, ooh, that, like whatever that was, just, it didn't feel good. So I'll write everywhere, this happens, or everywhere this is a belief or a fact, uncreate, delete, and destroy it across all time, space, and dimensions. And so I work it on the quantum level because I can, and really we all can. Can. And so, but rather than just kind of like bypass it, it's like, oh, I noticed this and it doesn't feel good, I'm just going to clear it, so I do that every day. I mean, anytime it pops up, I'm like, oh no, yeah, like let's get rid of that, because that's not desirable. Like I'm going to create heaven on earth here. I'm gonna, like, one limiting belief at a time, one fear at a time.
Awesome. Yeah. I recall that you mentioned some anxiety and depression that you were experiencing during your work as a pharmacist, or maybe for your whole life, right? And so how has that colored your experience?
Well, I mean, I think anytime you're aware of either your suffering or other people's suffering, it takes a toll, especially if you feel powerless. I think to me, the powerlessness is what creates the depression. It's the feeling of, I have this like knowing or understanding of stuff and I feel powerless to change it. And that's what creates depression to me. And then the anxiety too of like, if I don't change it, what is tomorrow going to look like?
Right. Okay. Awesome.
And so the more I felt like I could, more empowered I felt, the I mean, I still have like periods of, like, it's not depression though. It's like periods of like kind of getting stuck in the feelings of it. And then it's like, oh wait, I have tools for this. And then I pull.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about those tools. You mentioned that you help people harmonize the masculine and feminine energies. Can you explain what you mean by that? So like what's the difference between the masculine and feminine energies?
Well, masculine is more the mind, right? It's the doing, and it's the action,
Mhm.
and it's also the protecting and defending. And then the feminine is creativity, it's flow, it's nurturing, it's healing. And just like in our body system, we have the adrenergic and we have the noradrenergic. We have the action, and then we have the rest systems, and you have to have both. You have to have both, or else, because if you're always in action and you're always in stress and you're always have adrenaline running you, you're going to burn out, and
Yeah,
you're
create
become
disease.
sick. You have
Yeah,
you have to have the rest and digest, and the just the downtime. It takes a marriage of the two, really. And this is
definitely.
just energy, and we all have masculine and feminine within us. Everybody does. And the balance is whatever it is. It doesn't really matter what the balance is. It's different for each of us. And whatever it is for you is perfect. Whatever it is for me is perfect. It's just a matter of helping them to work together and not be fighting each other, because it blocks our energy, and then we're constantly in this inner battle, and we can't create the life that we want to create.
Right, right. I talked about that internal power struggle. I would love to talk a little bit about the shadow work that you've done and how that has changed your life and transformed your life. And also let's explain a little bit about energetic blocks and what that looks like, so people can start to recognize those blocks and realize how they can move forward.
So I'll start with the energetic blocks, and then yeah. So I think I mentioned that I was a aviation electronics technician before I was a pharmacist. So I learned all the how electronics work and all that stuff. I had no idea before that. And then with my pharmacy, I learned other stuff. But so the way I see it is, all these traumas or all these fears, all these limiting beliefs, they create blockages in our energy system. And when the energy doesn't flow properly, right, then it creates a disruption in the energy in the organ, the tissue, whatever, which creates disease, right? And if we don't clear that blockage, and the energy flow is blocked for a period of time, then it becomes a more permanent disease. Like it progresses, right? You
Sure.
can add a pill, and the pill might take care of the symptoms, but it's not actually clearing that block. That you're not going to clear the block with a pill, which is why I don't practice pharmacy anymore. But so, and then they add another pill for the side effects from the first pill, and then but you're not taking care of the actual root cause of it, which is treatable. And it's typically emotional. Anything, any kind of circumstance we're in where we have a strong emotion, especially as children, from before the age of 10, we have this strong emotion, and we don't have the skills, because probably our parents didn't have the skills to process that emotion at the time. We just store it in our body as a blockage. And so it's kind of a process. The shadow work is kind of a process of like finding, like, when you become conscious of a fear in your life, then you can say, what is this story, or what is this fear? And you kind of, like, I use journaling to do it, because it's for me, I found that to be the most helpful. Like, just kind of like, what is this fear? And I just kind of like, it's like I'm afraid of this, and what does that mean, 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 and just get real clear on it. And then I say, well, how would I like to, what would like be the best case scenario here?
Mm-hmm.
And then I say, well, what can I, is that true? Can I believe that that is true, that it's the opposite of that? Like, how can I turn this into love? What would I love for the case to be here? Because fear and love are the opposite, right? And what we want is we want to transmute the fear into love. So anywhere there's fear, I change it into a statement of how I would love for it to be instead. And then, I want to find something. If you can come up with it in your mind, you can believe it's true typically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, because, and then I update it. I say, well, what would be even better than that? Well, what would be even better than that? Well, what would my ideal be? And then those change over time because, as your frequency and vibration raises, you can experience greater and greater joy. So it's kind of like the spiral, right? So it's constantly, when there's something in my life that doesn't feel good, that I don't enjoy, that is bringing my vibe down, whatever, let's say, but I don't have to accept that,
Mm-hmm.
and I can transmute this into something that I love. How can I love this more? And so it's like a constant daily process for me. And then I can, also I help my clients with that too, I mean, because it's something I've been doing, not knowing my whole life. And I think it's a valuable tool for people.
I think so too.
Aware of it.
Yeah. So much so that I have created things like chakra cleansing, recordings and clearing energy, guided meditations, and I'm like all about helping people raise their vibration. I've done things like, then this started actually before I became a Reiki practitioner. I was taking the bus every day, and if I walked into the bus and felt low energy, I would sit in meditation for that entire ride and bring love energy to the bus so that they would experience love today. They would experience some kindness or they would get a hug from someone and they would feel better. Like that setting intentions for these people that I didn't know to have a higher vibration. And I could sense that vibration change before I got off the bus. So it's something that I think light workers do intuitively before they're even trained. And when we become trained, when we know what our magic is and what we're doing in the world and how we can help, then we can step into our power and become stronger healers. So it's a beautiful path. Doing shadow work has its benefits for sure, because you get to the other end and it's like everything's lighter. It doesn't feel so heavy.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. When I worked in the pharmacy at the hospital, it was an hour commute each way, and I would spend my hour listening to like music to get myself like super, just in the most joyful state that I could get in, because I knew that was not the state of the work environment. And I was like, every person that I interact with, I have an effect on. I can either bring them up or I can bring them down. And obviously I want to bring them up. And so for me to be able to do that for the mass amount of people that I was interacting with every day, I would spend my whole hour commute just like raising my vibration as high as I could get it, so that like if I can be a light in other people's life, then that's what, why would I not want to do that? Why would I not want to? Because what I give to other people, I'm also receiving too, like it feels so amazing to make somebody's day brighter,
Yeah, it does. Definitely. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about with regards to your work and what you're doing?
Right now I'm doing one-on-one sessions, and I'm working on a group program for harmonizing masculine and feminine, but I am doing that on a one-on-one basis, and doing some free 20-minute like discovery calls.
Okay.
So I will send you a link.
Wonderful. Yes, that'll be included in the description below for the YouTube and for the podcast. And how can people reach you? So spell out, if you wanted to give like a website or email address, spell it out for our audience.
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm working on my my website's not fully, no. So
Not
I'm
developed.
yeah, I'm Lisa Smith Williams on Facebook, and Lisa S. Williams 180, I believe, on Instagram.
Okay, awesome. Excellent. And do you have any final thoughts? A little bit of inspiration you'd like to share?
Oh, I mean, I would love to. My goal is to create, or is to help the collective create heaven on earth, because, and it's just one step at a time. It's not like, yeah, I've seen it, and I know it's achievable.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of every day, every decision. It's like, do I want to choose fear? Or do I want to choose love? And every single time when you choose love, you're raising your vibration, and you're helping the whole collective too. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for offering this work in the world. Thank you for being the light in this world. It is so beautiful. It's been so nice to get to know you and what you offer. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Stephanie. I loved it. It was great.